Yeah, welcome to this broadcast, to this live show. Yeah, this is a bit different than the earlier ones, simply because we have a special event tonight, which I really was not aware of before. There is a Blitz tournament actually in London. This is for the London Chess Classics. What they are doing is they're playing a Blitz tournament, a double round robin. And the standings, the results of this tournament will determine the color distribution for the, let's say, real tournament. And that I think will be starting on Wednesday. So this Blitz event, it has some sporting significance for the main event, but it's also, fun to watch. So I'm going to watch a little bit of these games and do commentary on them live. Let's see what happens. I started right after round 4 was finished and waiting for round 5 to start. We have 3 games happening at once, so it's not so clear what I should do. I can switch between them or can stay with one game. I think I will stay with one game and see how this unfolds, unless if it finished quickly, I will switch to another one. It's a bit tricky to switch all the time between games, then you don't get a real flow there. So I will just stick with one game. It was a coincidence, we have Kramnik, Anand here set. What are the other games actually? Caruana, Giri, and the third one is Nakamura, Adams. They're all interesting, but I think I'll stick with Kramnik, Anand. The 14th, let me calculate. The 14th world champion against the 15th world champion is always good to watch. Hello to the For some reason the sound was off. I don't know why. Okay. I think the sound should be on now. I'm not sure why it was off. Maybe I hit a button accidentally. You're writing fixed sound. I see that and I fixed it. It just takes a moment to arrive in on the other side because of the delay that there is in there. It was a bit weird that the sound was gone. Okay, I didn't really tell anything too essential. The games didn't even start yet. So Kramnik, Anand is what's happening now. Welcome to the chat. Some people are already in there. The sound is fine. I only have to switch it on. For some reason it was switched off. I cannot tell you why. Okay, I think there are small breaks between the rounds. And I was just starting the broadcast when this break began. So it should really start any minute, I believe. I can switch to the other games briefly, but there is nothing happening there. So, Kramnik, Anand. Where is it? Kramnik, no, now it says Kramnik, Giri. Wow, that's weird. So what games do we actually have? Kramnik, Giri, Caruana, Adams, and Nakamura, Anand. Okay. That's not so clear now what I should look at. Okay, let's do Nakamura, Anand. Nakamura is always fun to watch. So we have a London system, but it transposes into a Queen's Gambit declined. So we have a pretty standard position now, where black now will probably castle. And then we have something like knight f3, knight bd7 coming, I guess. Or maybe rook c1 for white. Yeah, white has played bishop f4 in the Queen's Gambit declined, which is nowadays the main move. They don't play bishop to g5 that much anymore. Nakamura is taking some time. I wonder why. Is there some glitch in the transmission? Might be. Someone kibitzing that the live video shows something different. Okay, so we have a reset for this game. Maybe there was a transmission error. This can always happen. An error in transmission. What about the other games? Are they broadcasted all right? No. Yeah, maybe there was something broadcasted that really wasn't there. So it can happen. Nakamura Anand actually makes some sense because we had Anand Nakamura in the round before. So maybe they play 2 times. No, they say Anand is playing Kramnik. Okay. Let's just wait until it really started. Switching here, Giri, Kramnik. Yeah, some technical issues there. Yeah, someone asking, I wonder if Nakamura will try to treat it like a world championship or something. Yeah, that's a fun remark. Thanks. It's okay, now we have Kramnik Anand for real, and I believe it. Kramnik playing knight f3 makes lots of sense. I mean, if he would play b3 or something, you'd rather think it's Nakamura. So, 2g3. This is at least something that I know. I play this kind of stuff myself. It's probably a Reti opening, now with c4 or castling. d3, yeah. Kramnik is playing probably something along the lines of a King's Indian attack, with a possible knight d2 and e4. Also, queen e1 is interesting. He might go, yeah, he goes for queen e1. Queen e1 is a recent idea there. I mean, not like totally new, but it skips the move knight bd2, and this can be interesting sometimes. Getting e4 in even earlier. Oh, Vishy is trying something funny with h5. Irritating Kramnik on the h-file. Yeah, will Anand castle long? I don't think so. But I wonder if he should play maybe h4. h4 for black. Okay, now h4 can be answered by g4. But he goes for e5. So we have some nice stability in the center now. White has f4 played. And there are ideas now like knight f3, h4, f5, for example. Or knight c4. It's also possible, putting more pressure on e5. White getting a knight to f5 would be nice. But the question is also, what about taking on f4 now? Yeah? If black now takes on f4, white will not recapture, but play e4, e5. Yeah, pushing the pawn and winning a piece, actually. Yeah, but h4, this is interesting. Now, if g4, black will take on f4. Aha, so we got a sharp position. It happens sometimes. Out of those deceptively quiet openings, we have a sharp position. Knight c4, interesting. Yeah, what should black do now? You can consider to take on g3, of course, or give the check. The check is actually the more natural move because it comes with a tempo. And there are many funny tricks now. Yeah? Let's say king h2. There might be knight g4 check. Takes on g4, takes on g3, double check. Ooh, dangerous stuff. So bishop e3. This does make some sense, yeah, getting rid of this bishop. But now black can definitely take on e3 and take on g3 for a good structure. So I would think that black can be quite satisfied with the current position here. Maybe there is something concrete happening in the center that I don't see, but I think I would simply take on e3 and take on g3. Maybe something like bishop e3, queen e3 takes on g3 and queen a3 is happening. this kind of stuff. I don't know. It's a bit strange that Anand is taking so much time here. By the way, this is a typical relayer clock, which means that the time is not totally precise. It's certainly the case that Anand has less time. We can be certainly quite sure about, but it's not clear how much actually the time difference is. I hope that this transmission is working. Oh, maybe it really took that long. Yeah, I would expect now to take on g3. There are other moves, interesting moves, like even knight h5 is interesting, trying to get there. But yeah, I wonder what's White's move now is. So something like this. I see. So knight e5, queen g3, this was the big deal. And now it's a pin. And this can easily be a problem. And I understand why Anand took the time. There's stuff like, yeah, exactly, those kind of moves. Now knight d6 is a move. White has activity, but black has this excellent knight on e5. Very interesting. What about rook d7? Is this a move? Knight d7, there's no follow-up. Nah, not really. It looks a bit shaky for black. I mean, White can, what White can always do is, yeah, exactly, give the check, take on f7, just win a pawn, yeah, but it's not so clear how great it is. The knight will come to e5, one black knight. It's not so easy to break down, maybe. Yeah, black will probably just take now. But the knight will not come to e5, right? This is the problem. Knight takes f7. We have queen takes c7, king c7, rook f7. And this is a super problematic pin. Yeah, White will now, I think, take on c7. He must do that. And then take on f7. And then we are in a big pin. Yeah, black cannot really get rid of the pin. He can play king c8, but then we have bishop f3 to g4. Bishop f3 and over. No, 95. Okay, so Kramnik just took the pawn, but now he is 2 pawns up. Yeah, 2 pawns. This is serious stuff. He really should win this game now. The h pawn is strong. But Vishy, okay, we know he's a very, very resourceful defender. Always has been. Yeah, but difficult now. Yeah, the knight has to move. I don't see any chat. I mean, is the chat working at all? I mean, maybe you can send me some message. No, I switched the sound off. What the heck? There's some sort of probably there is a shortcut that unmutes the sound, and I sometimes hit it. Yeah, I turned it off again. That's fun. Okay. Yeah. The sound is on again. There is some sort of weird combination of keys that seems to turn off the sound. I need to investigate that. I'm sorry. Okay, it's an intense game. White is just now 1 pawn up. Anand got 1 pawn back. But White has those 2 super dangerous passes, and it really should be a win. Also note the knight on c2 is totally stranded. It cannot go to e1, e3 or on the 4th rank. The knight is basically cut off. Even bishop f5 is a move, but knight a3 is just about holding. Maybe bishop f5, knight a3, bishop g6 check, and then push the h-pawn. But we will see. Kramnik is a fantastic player technically, so whatever I'll do in terms of commentary on his moves will certainly be worse. Bishop b7 maybe for king d7, rook f7 check. I don't know. And now he's going back. interesting. Ah, yeah, okay. This is just good, yeah. c6, he has weakened c6, so that now he can play bishop e4 and rook f6 possibly. Just attacking the pawn. Okay, he's pushing the h-pawn. So I think he knows what he's doing, yeah. Let's see. Maybe he will just pick up the c6 pawn, but I don't know. Wasn't there something even more convincing? To give up the e-pawn, really, that's not super great. I mean, I'm not saying that Anand is close to a save here, but it felt like maybe White could have done something more decisive. Okay, the king comes to g5. Probably yes. And the bishop is just so much better than the knight in this position. Whenever the knight drops somewhere, you can just take it. Yeah, White's winning here. Where is this game being played? In London. This is a tournament for the London Chess Classic. It determines the color distribution. The time control is 4 minutes and 2 second increment. So this game finished, and I'm trying to switch to one of the others, see if they're still on. Here, Caruana Giri is still on. So let's try to figure out what's happening here. Caruana is 2 pawns up here, and he's got an attack. The queen is on g7, attack on e7. The only hope that black has is the c pawn, but he's completely in disarray in this position. And this is a win for Caruana. You can always blunder, but White is completely winning. How old are you? I'm 40 years old. The number in parentheses, this is the material count. So 26 means it adds up to 26 points, which is sometimes a useful information. White is 2 pawns up essentially here. Yeah, and still has the attack. Oh, this is nice. What about the e2 rook? So the check, but this is terrible here. Has Caruana blundered that or not? Isn't black now winning? I don't get it really. The mate on, there's no checkmate. No, black is winning this now. Wow. So he has really this up. Queen b6 to pick up the pawn is the cleanest, and he played it. Yeah, and then the c-pawn will win the game. Wow. Yeah, Caruana was completely winning here. But it happens to the best players in Blitz. Yeah, the c-pawn will do the job. The king can just walk to b4 and help with promoting. So, this is a win for Giri, funny enough. It was a complete win for Caruana, but he didn't find the right continuation. Okay, is Nakamura Adams still on? It is. So, again, we switch to a new game. Nakamura is white here and is a pawn down against Mickey Adams. Wow, Adams has the pawn on a2. This is a very typical situation with this extra pawn. Very difficult to hold for white. He has the weakness on e5, and he's always tied with his rook to look at the a pawn. And what black very often is doing, he switches his attention, moving the rook away, and then go at the king side. One problem here is king f1, for example, or this move intending rook e1, rook e2. Let's see, what about rook e2 now? He has the check. Okay, he's got the check. Is this a win for black? I'm not totally sure. Not totally sure. Black cannot easily promote. Rook e2 wasn't winning. There was this check on a3. I'm not completely convinced that this is a win. Someone is keep saying Naka wins on time. No, he won't. No, this is 2 second increments, so nobody will lose on time. Normally not. yeah, it could be a draw. Could be a draw. I don't really see. Black has no way to get a passer. I think it's a draw. I think it's a draw. But it's still, of course, black will try. Yeah, you run no risk of losing, and you will always continue. Yeah, the problem is that the king, it cannot hide this king. White always has those checks. And the only winning idea is king to e3, rook e2 check. Yeah, like rook e1, rook e2 check. But white always has rook a3 intermezzo. I think it's a draw. Ah, it says game drawn. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a draw. I'm not totally sure. But I see no way forward. The point is that I think I cannot move. No, it's I cannot move here. Can I examine this somehow? Let me check. Running experimental mode here. I cannot. Okay, I won't try that. This kind of experiments here. I'm glad that the broadcast is working basically fine. Yep. Now we are in the right board. Is there no live delay? The computer does not help you there. It really doesn't. There is the computer is not deep enough to really give you a good evaluation of the position. Okay, so we have Adams Nakamura next. So they switch colors. Yeah. Yeah. No, the engines have actually improved a lot in end games. They can be very reliable nowadays. But it's sometimes difficult in rook end, especially rook end games where there's a pawn up. They will very often not recognize a drawing mechanism that is very deep. Sometimes it's just like it's running in circles, you know. The computer always gives +1, +2, and so on, and it still does not really understand in a way the essence of the position, that there is no progress to be made. It is engines don't suck at endgames. It's a matter of the endgame type. They're usually very reliable, but sometimes there are situations where it simply is not. It cannot calculate so deeply. There are also cases, for example, what we saw in the Singfield Cup. There were draws with 2 pawns down in rook endgames easily, and the computer does not see that. Yeah, table base can help, of course, and table base is of course super reliable, but endgames that are not table base, where it just has to calculate, like the one that we had, difficult stuff, very difficult. Yeah, so we watched Kramnik Anand, so maybe we should stick with another game here in the return match, so to say. So let's watch maybe Adams Nakamura here. I will try to distribute this evenly. I'm not doing the same person all the time, switching the games. Yeah, I think they are currently on this break. It's a very good idea to have at least some minutes to recollect yourself in a Blitz tournament. I played the German Blitz Championships about 2 months ago. It was a terrible tournament for me. I played like a complete moron. But in this tournament, they also, of course, had small breaks after each round, and I personally thought that the breaks were too short. Yeah, it was very, very short, and I really couldn't recollect after a game. Difficult. So let's see. We will look at Nakamura Adams here, or Adams Nakamura, and see what they will be playing. I can do a guess the opening thing. No, not with Nakamura. Yeah, Mickey normally plays e4, but Nakamura plays everything under the sun, especially in Blitz chess. Yeah, Nakamura seems to be in good shape. He won this London Rapid play, the Open Rapid tournament, with 9.5 out of 10. Fantastic score. And yeah, amazing score. He was a bit lucky, I have to say. There was one game where he was a piece down, really, for one pawn out of the opening against an IM. And he still won that. So it's really amazing, yeah. For some, I don't know how the other guy managed, but he screwed it up step by step. It was a bit strange. Of course, you can always do stupid stuff in rapid chess, but still. Let's see. Adams Nakamura, yeah, they still have this this break. Yeah, Mickey plays e4 and Nakamura plays the Sicilian. Yeah, he plays all kinds of lines. Maybe the Rossolimo with bishop b5. This is nowadays almost the main line. They don't play d4 that much anymore. And now b3. This line was used by Vishy Anand to let's say mediocre effect in the World Championship match against Boris Gelfand. Gelfand played the Sicilian there, and we had this precise position on the board, I think. Also with d3, Anand switched ideas. Yeah, a quick knight to g6. This is an interesting plan. What black normally wants to do, he wants to play f6 and possibly e5, setting up a wall of pawns. And this would blunt the bishop. So white pushed e5, and now black quickly went d5. This is a very interesting position now. We have a huge structural imbalance. Black has a completely wrecked pawn structure, yeah, the double pawn, yeah. But the thing is that white also has problems. Bishop on b2, for example. And this is not a good piece. On the other hand, you have a good knight on c4. And you possibly have a good position for the other knight on e4. Yeah, if the knight comes to e4, or any other piece for that matter, if black plays f5, he will weaken his e5 pawn. So white is playing for outposts for his knight, where black is playing for space. He's got more space with his pawn center, and long term for some play with his bishops. For example, a bishop can come to e6 to d5. Is one possible way to play it, or knight to f4. This is always in the position. Hard to say who is better here. Maybe it's dynamically equal. Someone wrote here, Carlsen Aronian in the Singfield Cup. This is the example for the draw 2 pawns down that the computer didn't get. It's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah, black now is regrouping. Yeah, he puts his knight to f8 and then to e6, probably to d4. To be honest, I like black's position here. This looks nice. Black has good play on the light squares. Knight coming to g4 is nice. And wow, white is running into that directly. Maybe he wants to play knight e4 and just take this knight when it comes to d4, but then black will take with the c-pawn and will be certainly satisfied with pawn structure being being repaired in a way. Knight d4 looks totally normal. Nakamura is taking his time. This is probably not a bad idea. It's probably very crucial now what happens. There's also the question, maybe if white, can white take and play f4, maybe something like that? Something brutal, yeah. It probably was not working. Yeah, here a5, yeah, white I think has to play a4, unless this is also not working. But this is a very shaky king position. Yeah, look at, just think about it, bishop b4, bishop c3, and then, checkmate on a1, but how do you get a rook or the queen to a1? It's not easy. It looks nice. It looks nice. No, this is live. The question is this live or replay? No, the Blitz games are played live at the moment in London, and I'm doing live commentary. Try to make sense of what they are playing. I mean, not that I mean that their moves don't make any sense, but it's tough for me to sometimes understand what's going on. So let's see what happens. I won't use an engine. I'm just trying on my own. So bear with me if I'm making stupid tactical mistakes in the commentary. Yeah, so what should black do? Not easy. It looks nice, he has the 2 bishops and good control, but how are you actually winning this game? Black is really calling the shots here in a way. White cannot do much. f4, yeah, this is a way for white forward, but yeah. Maybe I'm overestimating this situation a little bit for black actually, because it is nice, but how exactly are you getting some headway? Yeah? The king is relatively safe on b1. You can even creep this bishop to c3. There's still no mate. And what black does not have, he has no pawn break. This is a problem. And white has a pawn break with f4. And I'm not saying white is better, certainly not, but it's not clear to me how black is going to put this forward. Tja, f4. The only idea is f4 really for white. Tja, or g4. This is the great thing when you do commentary. You say, the only idea is this one, and then you play something different. To be honest, when I was saying f4 is the only idea, I was thinking, okay, maybe g4. The idea is, of g4, amongst others, is that it controls f5, so that f6, f5 is not easily possible. And white is now supporting his knights nicely. c4, of course, does not need support, but with g4 and h5, white is supporting his knight on e4. You know, I think it's nice for white. Adams has done a good job here. I think he was in trouble earlier maybe, but this now looks nice. I don't really see anything that black can do, while white maybe can play g5 or h6 at some point. Is this a German accent? Yep. I try, but I cannot really get rid of it. I can try to not make it to be so obvious, but it's a matter of how much time I have available. If I have to speak somewhat quickly, it's difficult. Can we see the engine? No, not really. I don't use one, as mentioned. And it would totally, to be honest, totally screw up the whole design of this transmission page. How are problems like knocking pieces over and such resolved in live tournament blitz? Yeah, this is a problem, in fact. Some players tend to knock over pieces, especially if there's no time around. You get a time penalty if you really do it very, very often. But normally, if you play on a somewhat higher level in Blitz, they don't knock over pieces so much. Yeah, I don't speak any other language than German and English, unfortunately. It's just those two. I learned a bit of Latin in school, but this does not help much. Yeah, black is actually trying something. Yeah, rook b4 maybe, and then try to sacrifice on a4. So Nakamura is so tricky, yeah, unbelievable. He's maybe getting somewhere. Rook b4, rook b8, and then sacrificing on a4. And interesting, very interesting. He got to this position, and now, but c3 hangs, right? Can black take on a4 and play queen b4 maybe? But there's queen, no, there's not. Queen b4, right? With queen b2 mate, what is white doing against that? I guess nothing. I think black wins now, I don't know. Or can you somehow survive King B, no, King B1 you can just take on C4. Take it, Queen B4, that's mate, right? Queen B2 mate. It's also Rook B8. No, black is winning. Funny. Really funny. Queen B4 now for the win. Queen B2 mate. This is the big problem. Yeah, and now I think you can play, I thought Rook B8 actually, intending Queen A4 and Rook B2, but the problem is, the both rooks are not playing. Rooks on G3, H3, they don't play. And now black threatens Queen A4 check, Queen A3, Rook B2 check, using the pinned knight, and then you win the queen with mate. Good stuff by Nakamura. Good stuff. He really got something going against the king. I thought it was totally safe, but it wasn't. Very nice play. Queen A3, there's Queen B1 mate. And this, I don't see a move. This is just made. Yeah, this was coming not out of nowhere, but really nice by Nakamura. So let's see what the others are doing. Anand, Kramnik, is this still on? No. This is not on because Kramnik has won here. This looks really like a big attack here. What kind of opening was this? Reti. Anand somehow played a pure Reti opening. Doesn't happen that often. But Kramnik managed to get a big attack on the B file, and here he smashed on B2 and Anand resigned. Yeah, knight takes, rook takes, and then Queen A1 mate. Okay, what about Giri, Caruana? Oh, they're still playing. That's funny. Oh, nice endgame, yeah. Maybe we get knight and bishop mate by Caruana. This would be funny. He will definitely manage that with 2-second increment. Oh, someone is writing something in Latin. Oh, no. Okay, so the thing is, the best that white can do here really is getting into knight bishop mate and hoping that somehow Caruana is not managing with little time, but I'm not sure if he even gets that far. Black will probably, get the h3 pawn. We shouldn't be, oh, this is, Relayer has stopped examining. Okay, white resigned, yeah. This is very understandable. You lose the h3 pawn. I mean, besides the fact that Caruana will win and will do this knight and bishop mate, it's really not a big deal for any professional to do this with little time on the clock. Even 1-second increment is totally enough to do that. So in this round we had 3 decisive games and 3 black wins. Quite funny. How did this happen? How did Giri get into this trouble here? Let's go a little bit back here. Interesting. We have the opening from the World Championship match, the game 6 opening with the double blunder. Giri is copying Carlsen's approach and Caruana is playing d6. Yeah, that's in fact, now, oops, they switched for the next round already. So how exactly can I look at the other games? I'm not totally sure how I do that without completely turning over the kind of setup that I have here for the transmission. It's probably possible somehow, but I don't want to destroy the broadcast, you know. I'm kind of curious with me switching off the sound all the time. Yeah, we can, someone is asking for Caruana. Yeah, we can do that. We had a look at Nakamura and Adams and Anand, Kramnik. Not sure Caruana is playing who exactly in this round. Against Kramnik with black. Yeah, why not? Let's do a little bit of this. Yeah, people have some technical problems. It always shows offline with the background. Yeah, I mean, for me it's working. I can watch my own stream and at least see that it is on. For those that maybe have joined a little bit later, I mean, the start of the whole thing was a spontaneous decision to start a little bit earlier. This all will be archived on the twitch.tv Internet Chess Club address, and it also will be on my YouTube channel at some point. So, Kramnik, Caruana. Let's see. It will take a moment, I guess, when they till they continue. It's really a good thing. You need some moments to recollect yourself. I'll actually get some water. Yeah, if you have any questions, I mean, the last couple of live shows, they had many questions. You're welcome to ask. Especially when I'm doing kibitzing commentary and not playing myself, it's much easier to answer. So I'm glad to answer questions on anything that I have some expertise in. Let's see. Probably will take a moment to start. Is there a Blitz tournament going on? Yes, this is yeah, the tournament is finishing today. You say, are they? You know, yeah, about the. I see about the, with history, right? I can try that. It's not working. Tricky. Yeah, this is the London Chess Classics Blitz tournament. The Blitz tournament is determined. Is determining the color distribution for the main tournament. This means that basically, if you win this thing, you get an additional white game. This is quite nice. Out of they have a short tournament, just this 5 rounds, and having 3 whites compared to 2 whites is a big difference. It's I mean, just in percentage. Someone is asking me if I have mineral water with gas near my microphone. Yes, I have. Have you ordered any books for Christmas? No, not yet. Not yet. I got a couple of chess books recently, but nothing especially for Christmas. I got the game going. Kramnik, Caruana, knight f3, d6. What field of work did I work before chess coaching? I was working in finance and controlling in a business bank. So Caruana, d6, g6, kind of an offbeat opening. And Kramnik often plays this with bishop c4. Let's see if this is a good guess. Always c3. This is his main 2 setups. But bishop, here we go. I know some stuff. Bishop c4. Yeah, knight f6, queen e2 is the way to go. Oh, Caruana, interesting. He's maybe playing the hippo. The hippopotamus with knight e7 and so on. It's not a terribly bad opening, actually. It's not very active, but can be played. When does the long tournament starts? On Wednesday. So they have one day off, and then on Wednesday it continues. Yes, the stream started early, but it's not that we just extended. Yeah, I'm streaming as long as this tournament is running, so you actually get a little bit more than actually was planned. Have you been to the US? Is a question. Yes, I've been to the US in 1999 to New York for a couple of days, but that's it, unfortunately, not more. Okay, so let's have a look at the game. Kramnik has a slight space advantage. He has pushed e5 and has established a good knight on e5, but black is attacking the center with c5, and What he's lacking in is development. So black has to be quite careful that this lack in development is not getting to serious proportions. White has another idea using this pin, the bishop on h4. I cannot draw any arrows, unfortunately. This is not possible in a live broadcast. There's this copy thing that they do, copy the game, but it's in a Blitz environment difficult. Wow, Caruana has grabbed the pawn. That's cheeky. Knight e4 is a big threat now, so I think he has to go g5. Or some drastic measure, yeah. Otherwise, knight e4 will... Okay, you can play g5 when knight e4 actually hits, but you know, white has everything developed. Yeah, white has everything developed, but how exactly are you going to exploit this? Knight e4, knight e5 is hanging, so if you take on d7, then knight e4, this may be g5. Yeah, black seems to hang on, but it looks a bit fishy, yeah. It looks a bit fishy. Whoa. Ooh, Kramnik is sacking on f7. Okay, cool. But how great is this actually? If black now plays, let's say, knight f8, for example, yeah, he did that. We have to capture now on f7, king takes, and knight e4, there's g5. Isn't this fairly solid for black? He has gotten 2 pawns. I mean, rook. He's got a rook, and what exactly? 1 pawn. I'm not sure if this is so great. There's lots of pressure on f6, but after g5. If you now sacrifice again, I don't think this will lead to anything. I know knight d6. This is a position that is practically, in a practical game, is difficult to play, but I'm not so sure about the objective merit. Queen b3 check. Maybe even queen d5 is possible, but I could blunder. Yeah, Giri is in progress. Okay, yeah, we will look at this a little bit as well, of course. But I wanted to... Someone says the video is frozen. It's I watch my own live stream, and I watch my live stream all right. I don't know. Maybe you need to refresh sometime. It's not clear to me sometimes what Twitch is doing there, but I see it all right. Knight d6. Yeah, this is a problem, right? Queen takes d6, there's queen takes b7, and white wins. And if the king moves, and it can only really go to g8, there is queen b3 check probably, or something else. Queen b7 taking. That looks dangerous. It's a dangerous position. Someone is asking me, see, who is the chess player you like more as a person? I don't know. You mean of the two here, Kramnik and Caruana? I cannot really tell. I haven't met any of those guys in person. I only had the honor once to play in a team match, or let's say I didn't play. I was the team captain, and I was the captain for a team who for a team that played against the German champion of Baden-Baden, and they played with Vichy Anand, and Anand was really an exceptionally nice guy. Was really great. I mean, not like acting at all like the kind of chess superstar that he really is. He was the world champion at the time, and he was really really great, nice person. No, I didn't tell what books I bought. I didn't get a book on the Tromp. I have a couple. So white has a strong attack here, but how is he winning? Not easy, but maybe you can just take on d4 and play for the pawns. White has 3 pawns, and if they go c4, b4, c5, c6, white will win. This is very often the problem. Rook and pawns are often more dangerous than the minor pieces as the game progresses. In the end game, very often the rook and the pawns are stronger. So I think that Kramnik is in an excellent position here, especially considering that he is well coordinated. The knight is strong on f5. There is a good bishop on g3. Black has big problems here. I think Kramnik will probably win this. Someone is asking me if I like the book 100 Endgames You Must Know by Jesus de la Via. Yes, I like this book a lot. This is a good endgame book. It's a good endgame book in regards of theoretical endgames. It's a good overview of theoretical endgames. There are many of those around. I mean, there's of course the 600-pound gorilla of endgame books with the Dvoretsky's endgame manual, but the De La Via book is a very good compromise, let's say, to get an overview of the theoretical endgames. My book will have about 350 pages. I like 3+2 a lot, or 4+1. 1 second on the internet is enough. You need 2 seconds for over the board chess. Yeah, White is winning here. I think he should. He only needs to be cautious. Knights are tricky. Black can try to do something with his knights, but they have no good outposts. They are not very stable on e5 and f6. The f6 knight is pinned, and so on. Queen f5. Yeah, White is winning, but it still needs to be done. And let's see how Kramnik is mopping this up. I don't want to leave the game right in the middle of it. I didn't read the Ruben Fine book on basic chess endgames. Knight e5, yeah. There's rook e1 now, threatened. Black is holding on, but the thing is that in a situation where White is just simply trading queens, he will win the endgame with his eyes closed. And it's very difficult to avoid a queen trade. It seems Nakamura lost against Giri, okay. I got some music questions. I have some favorite music. I cannot really tell or can name one thing. Yeah, to be honest, a lot of it is older stuff from the 80s or 90s. Yeah, I like some things that are probably not so usual, like Tom Waits or Johnny Cash or something like that. I like this kind of things, but I also listen to some modern stuff, but I don't really buy much music anymore. Let's see. Who is my strongest chess student? Yeah, I don't mention names, but I'm not coaching any player that you will know. So Kramnik is promoting this pawn, and he has 2 queens now, 2 queens against 2 knights. So it's resigns time actually now for Caruana, but he maybe continues. As long as there are knights on the board, you don't resign. Black threatening queen c1 and knight f1 with a draw. So White better gives check all the time. I got more music questions. Taylor Swift, no, not really. What is the rating of my best student? About 2,100. But we only recently started to work. An average rating doesn't make much sense. I have everything from almost beginner to intermediate player. Let's see if this Caruana resigned here, and let's see if we have Anand Adams still going on. Yes, we have, in fact. So Vichy is pressing here with his pawns. It's opposite colored bishops, but white has connected passes and will win this. Bishop b5 and e7. I think black cannot prevent that. Can go to h4, but white should win here. Bishop, you can even go to b4 and just collect here. And now bishop b5 and e7 promotes the pawn. So white was winning in this endgame. Someone is asking, do I give lessons over Skype or something? Yeah, lessons over Skype, yes, something, I don't know. Yeah, I do offer chess lessons over Skype. Do you have any plans on ever getting a GM title? Plans? Yeah, I mean, I would like to get it, but I'm mostly concentrating on my coaching work, and also here things like commentary and things like that. I'm not really a super active player. I mean, I'd like to improve there, but I don't really have the time to invest in coaching myself, training myself. No other languages between English and German. Wow, some questions here. Could you explain the difference of strategic and positional and tactical player? I don't. This is not so easy. I think those labels are sometimes a little bit overvalued, let's say. On a top class level, there really is no such thing. People have their preferences going for certain position types, but you cannot really tell, let's say, well, Kramnik is a great positional player and Nakamura is a great tactical player. They are a little bit focused on this aspect in their chess, but it's not a really clear thing that they always play for a certain type of position. They know and can play every position well, but it's something that is more for the amateur level. Let's see. What do we have this time? Yeah, we can look at Giri Nakamura, the return game, and see what's happening there. There's a question if I know Olegas personally. Yeah, people who watch my channel notice that I play against a certain player quite often on the ISSC. International Master. The name here is Olegas, is his handle on the ISSC, and I have a terrible score against him. I lost a ton of games and never won any, and this is due to two simple facts. One is that he's a really good player, there's really no doubt about that, but I also lost a couple of games where he was playing totally dead positions on time, and it was very satisfying to get in 2 wins recently. I cannot say that I know him personally. I have played against him over the board 1 Blitz game in the German Team Blitz Championships, and this was a quite funny occurrence because the German Team Blitz Championships is very strong on first board. And when at the time I already had this terrible score against him, and it was so funny to see that he was playing there on board 1. I mean, there were people like let's say Rublevsky with 2,700 elo, and it was really that game, the game against the other guy, the Olegas guy, that I was most focused on. It ended in a draw. It was quite funny that he didn't continue a dead end game in over the board chess. And I think it's something that he probably does not do in over the board chess, because frankly speaking, if you do that too often people will punch you in the face and then you will stop it. It's a simple thing. Okay, so let's see. Nakamura Giri. I got a question. My favorite holiday destination in Germany. We get all kinds of questions. I like to travel to the North Sea. This is very nice. The northern part of Germany and the coast, like this a lot. But I also liked it very much in Bavaria, the Bavarian championships that I played in Bad Wiessee. This is at the Tegernsee, the Tegon Lake, yeah, to have it in English. It's a very nice place, a nice lake surrounded by mountains. It's a very nice place. I will actually visit in January again. I hope that this will be a good time, good weather. Okay. Have you been in other countries? Yeah, some, but not as much as maybe other people. A very favorite destination of mine is Slovenia. I'm traveling to Slovenia quite a lot. It's somewhat south of Austria. Yeah, someone is commenting on my people will punch you in the face. It really will happen. If you play rook against rook on time in Blitz regularly, it will sometimes lead to that. I'm pretty sure about that. Someone is asking me if I'm playing in the Belgian interclubs. I do. I play for SK Einatten, the current Belgium champion actually, but it wasn't my thing really. I played rarely last year for them. The Belgian interclubs is the Belgium team championships, the Belgium first league. Very nice competition. So Nakamura Giri, it has not started yet. Some other games it seems have started, so it's only a matter of seconds until we get the first move. Nakamura display everything under the sun, even b3, f4, whatnot. Let's see what he's coming up with. This is the 8th round, so we only have a couple of rounds left. Someone's asking me how old I was when I first became a master. I'm not sure what the definition of master is. I got to 2200 level at about 18, 19, something like that. And I started late with 15, at 15. Do you think that Caruana's current rating is true, or is it possibly inflated due to one amazing tournament performance? No, I think this is the rating is totally okay. I mean, why not? It is based on tons of games, actually. He had an excellent run, of course, during the Singfield Cup, and he also won almost all of his games in the European Club Cup when I also was where I also played in Bilbao. This was a fantastic run, of course, and this is something that nobody can maintain, like 3,100, impossible. But he's got what he has on paper, 2,800 something, and this is there is no such thing as a wrong rating on that level. Yeah, this is roughly, maybe it was like 4 years from starting to 2,200. I was really quick at the time. What league do I play in Germany? I'm not playing in the Schach Bundesliga. I'm playing in the 3rd German league, the 3rd highest league, which is in some way explained by the fact that I'm playing I'm playing for my hometown, so to say, and this is the 3rd league. So if this is now, let's focus on this game. This is a Botvinnik Semislav, one of the sharpest opening in all of chess. So we can expect some fireworks here. Nakamura with white against Giri. This is not an opening that is played that much nowadays. It has a slightly dodgy reputation for black, but it leads to super exciting games. c5, d5, castles, long castles. d5 castles. Castles now b4 is played, and then white has a choice. He can play knight a4 or can play rook b1. Yeah, rook b1 is great. If black takes on c3, he will take on b7. Now this is now a deep theoretical line, which looks like total craziness. It's hard for me to comment because it's super crazy, and this is still theory. Now, queen d5 is now a move. Yep, I knew it that far, and now I'm out of my knowledge. something like rook e8. I think black can also, I don't know. But it's a totally crazy position. I never played Go, not really. And I didn't have a coach when I started with chess. I was just, still am a total chess nut. I was doing so much chess. So let's see. It's white to move. Knight e4. Let's do something. Let's try to understand what's going on. White is a rook down, a whole rook. But he's got the pawn on e7, a super dangerous pawn. And white has knight d6 check in the mix. Very dangerous. Knight d6 check. If black now takes the knight and grabs on b1, white will have queen c6 check at the end. Yeah, and now an interesting moment, bishop f4. This is now, wow. You know what's possible? That this is still a line that is theoretically known. It's maybe a theoretically known position, but not known to me. I've got a question. Is there a way to save time on studying opening theory? It's not so easy to say. There are different ways to approach that. One point is there an efficient way to learn theory? I don't know. It is, I think, what I did is a lot. What I did a lot is I studied lots of games, master games, with the structures and opening that I like to play, and I learned the openings that way by looking at complete games by strong players. This way, it's not just learning single moves, but learning the whole kind of how the game unfolds in certain structures. And this is a good way to go. Someone is kibitzing Naka missed mate in 2. Yeah, queen b7, queen b5 checkmate. Was a mate. Yeah, but maybe there's still a mate coming up. I don't really see our black defense here. It looks very dangerous, very dangerous. But about this theoretical question about skipping theory, I think unless you really get to master level and above, like 2200 and more, if you are below that, like you're an 1800 player or something, it's not really necessary to study that much openings. Only if you really feel like you get very, very bad positions out of the opening, you should try to fix some things. But otherwise, it's really not very efficient to look at openings at this level of play. Rook c6, isn't there a mate? I cannot believe that. But if you play rook c6, you have to be alert. Yeah, but this looks good, right? Rook e6 and queen a7 mate. I mean, he could have mated him. He could have mated him already. But yeah, now, come on. Rook e6 check. King a5, queen a7. Come on, Naka, what are you doing there? This is probably also a mate. Yeah, it is a mate. Yeah, queen b5 mate or queen c6 mate, or always queen c6 mate. So Nakamura won this. Yeah, maybe there was a big theoretical mistake by Giri here, but I cannot tell you. Someone is saying apparently rook dg8 was not theory and a mistake. Possible. This is this kind of opening. I will play a couple of games when this tournament is finished. Let's see. What else do we have? Adams Anand is a somewhat boring position. And let's look at Caruana Kramnik. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, Caruana is an exchange down and f5 is played. Is this game actually still going on? Or is this also finished? No, Caruana is still playing. Interesting. I've got a question. When coaching, do you choose the topic? How do you have a pre-made curriculum or create the lessons individually for each student? I look at each student on their own and try to tailor something that fits. How does an ICC 5-minute rating transfer to a FIDE rating? Yeah, not at all. There are some things that I think can clearly be stated. If you have a really high ICC 5-minute rating, you also should be a really decent tournament chess player. But there are also people who have a relatively high Blitz rating that are not that great in longer time controls. Yeah, the position here is a win for black, I think, but it's not easy because you have to coordinate all the pieces, and this might be tricky. Rook to b8. I know that's better, of course. I didn't see that f3 was hanging. And yeah, in fact, this looks very much like a mating net. White has no check. Rook c1 is a big threat. And king d1, there's bishop f3, so Caruana will get checkmated here. Yeah, it didn't really look good when we switched to that, and it went downhill from there. So Caruana lost against Kramnik. Any really good tips to improve my chess from about 1300 to 1400? I will face my dad beginner as well at Christmas. Ooh, that's a tough matchup. If you are on 1300 to 1400 level, what is very important is that you improve your short-term calculation skills. You can switch to Adam's Anand, right? It was a little bit boring, but it still continues. Let's see what game drawn actually. No, I never played shogi or other chess variants. Never. I mean, maybe once or twice, but I really cannot say anything about this much. Yeah, 1300 to 1400 level. What makes lots of sense is to study short-term tactics. That is really really a good thing, that you don't hang pieces and actually make use of little tactical mistakes that happen all the time in your chess. It will happen, and if you have the time, try to play as much as possible with this kind of rating, and try to play somewhat longer time controls, at least something that is longer than Blitz chess. And also you can do to solve tactical puzzles. This is also a good idea. Looking for those kind of two movers puzzles like that. They will improve your game immensely in real over the board games and also online chess. How hard is it to go from 1600 to 2000 FIDE rating? Do you think someone in his early 30s and with a full-time job could do it in a few years? Yeah, you can do it. It's not easy, not really not. It depends how much time you can devote to chess. A full-time job means that, of course, you cannot make, I don't know, 20 hours a week, but it's a matter of how much time you actually can devote. If you can put in a couple of hours a week, like 5, 6, 7 hours a week, and play some tournaments, then it's possible. A new match online against King's Crusher or Christmas kibitzing this year. I will do some Christmas kibitzing, and I also will do some live streams. I don't know what I can manage, but I will do some live stream on my own channel, my own Twitch channel. How do I stop being a sore loser is a question. I don't know. I'm not a terribly sore loser, but somewhat of a sore loser. I mean, there are worse people, so I don't know if I'm the kind of people. I shouldn't give advice to you, I think. So, what's my favorite book? I don't know. Lots of them. I don't have one favorite book, chess or otherwise. So we let's see, what do we have here? Caruana Anand is one pairing, Kramnik Nakamura, and Adams Giri. So I'm definitely going for Nakamura Kramnik. Nakamura is always entertaining, and Kramnik is just, it's a fire and ice pairing, right? Nakamura is always kind of unpredictable, and Kramnik is just yeah, the kind of yeah, rock solid player there. And Blitz is playing a little bit more enterprising than in tournament chess, but still. What's my favorite mate? My favorite mate in chess is the Arabian mate. This is like king on h8 for black, white knight on f6, and rook h7 mate. How do I kick my bullet addiction? Difficult. Nah, it's difficult. You just have to stop. Someone is asking me, would you ever want to play a game? Sure, you can just challenge me on ICC. Maybe message me sometime. I have sometimes I'm on no play because I teach, so just message me sometime. Someone's asking me, can we challenge you to correspondence games? No, not at the moment. It's too much time. Okay, so Nakamura with b3, and we have a kind of weird double fianchetto. Kramnik with c5 has given the game a little bit of a yeah, Sicilian flavor, and interesting to see what Nakamura is doing now. Maybe a knight e2 and d4 later, getting to some yeah, so some open Sicilian type of position. Someone is asking favorite healthy snack. Healthy snack. I actually really like to eat salad, all kinds of salads, so it's not so easy to tell. I have a couple of... I also like to eat nuts. Nuts are good for you. Okay, queen c8, intended bishop h3, but Nakamura played h3. And now he's setting up from 1b3, quite funny. We now have a typical Maroczy bind position, knight e2, knight c3, possibly knight to d5. There's still h3 attacked, so white cannot castle easily, but he has many other useful moves. Someone is asking, do I have an account on leadchess.org? I registered there and played a couple of games, but not much. Someone is asking, trinkst du gern Bier? Do you like to drink beer? I'm not a huge fan of beer. No, not huge. I mean, I like to drink those Bavarian beers sometimes, Weissbier, but and a Guinness once in a while, but not a huge fan of beer. Do you own Chessbase? Yeah, unfortunately not the company. I would like to, but I have the Chessbase program. Yes, I was one of the first customers of Chessbase. Actually, not one of the very first, but in the late 80s, really long time ago, when I started with chess, I bought Chessbase very quickly. Someone is asking, I'm about 2,200 strength and have no clear opening repertoire. If I want to get to 2,300, must I always play the same openings from a pre-made repertoire? Is there a quick fix? 2,200. I think if you want to improve from there, you should work a little bit on openings. It really is. But it's difficult to say unless you know what exactly you play. Yeah, Kramnik here in this game, he has sacrificed a pawn, but he has gotten some nice pressure on the queen side. A little bit like the Benko gambit, yeah. If there was a D pawn and a C pawn, we would have a Benko. Interesting position, but I don't really believe that Kramnik has enough compensation. White has a good spot on h2 for the king, and he has e5 ideas. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, White would like to play knight d5, but a2 is hanging. So that's not easily possible. But e5 would be a move that White would like to play. Push away the f6 knight, but not easy to do. Okay, I think White is better, but it's not easy. It's not so easy to continue. Is this Call of Duty Advanced Warfare? Does it look like it? I don't think it does. I played Call of Duty. One of the, I think, what is it that I think I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It was on a couple of years ago. There's a question. Why did you say last time that Chessbase treats people badly or so regarding their playing service? I don't think I said it like that, but they have some rules there that I don't like. For instance, if you play online on the Chessbase server, you actually do lose on time if your opponent has a single minor piece, like a knight and nothing else. And this is kind of ridiculous in online chess. Especially, I mean, people play on time all the time, and this is like if you think rook against rook with no pawns is silly to play on, like Olegas does all the time. There people play bishop against bishop on all the time, or bishop against knight with no pawns, and this is so ridiculous that it is no words about it. And I actually complained to the staff there that this is a ridiculous rule, and when they basically insulted me after this remark, I stopped playing there. Okay, so let's see. A funny tactical sequence here happened, and Kramnik actually got his pawn back. Quite nice, but with e5, White has gotten some activity, and I'm not really sure about this position. That looks complicated. Isn't knight c4 getting the a5 pawn? Nice. Really so many questions. I don't have a cat, but this is about the only pet that I would consider, right? I like cats. So e5, not so easy now for black to play this. If you take on e5 and play knight c4, this may be rook d8. Oh, here also rook d8. Isn't Nakamura tricky? He's such a tricky player. If the knight now moves, rook d8, king f8, bishop c6. Oops. Not great. What are the drawbacks to study only few openings and play them all the time? There are drawbacks. It's a trade-off, really. If you play the same opening all the time, you will know it well and be an expert, but you're also more predictable to other players, so people might, in some cases, prepare against you, so they can surprise you if you're predictable. The other thing is, if you play the same stuff all the time, it might hinder your chess development a little bit. If you have the same kind of positions all the time, you don't get to know anything new, so it's difficult. Someone is asking, you should do more instructional videos. I do them almost on a daily basis. I didn't do some last 2 or 3 days. I didn't have the time. But okay, let's have a look at this game. We have a funny position where Nakamura is a piece up, but Kramnik has won a couple of pawns, and he will actually collect the a5 pawn, I believe. And then only black can do something. White is very active though. Maybe can do something with rook b8, but I think black should be quite clearly better here. Why do I like chess? There are other games around. Tja. It is... I figured that. I still think there's... I still think I cannot really play chess that well. I mean, I still think that sometimes in games I don't understand anything, and as long as this happens, I will continue to play. There is one over-the-board tournament game that I need to cover still for my Bavarian tournament. Yes, this will be on very shortly. I lost the score sheet for this game, and I wasn't able to piece it together afterwards. There were many repetitions and so on. It was difficult to do, and now I have the game from the database. No, I didn't congratulate King's Crusher on his performance, and the rapid play was really good. So let's see what happens here. Can Kramnik somehow pull out a win here, or will this end in a draw? It's clear that Nakamura can never win, but Kramnik will certainly try. I mean, black has a hard time to get his pawns rolling. It probably will end in a draw. Let's see. Okay, with h4, he's probably... Is he really trying? Yeah, this will end in a draw. Is it already agreed a draw? I have made some mistake here. Yeah, it's a draw. So let's see if one of the other games is still running. Caruana Anand is also a draw. It doesn't look like a draw. Why is this a draw? What? What kind of draw is that? I don't really know what this is. Why is this a draw? Okay. Is the other game still on? Adams Giri, black wins. Maybe I understand that at least. Queen e6, nice. Queen takes e6, there's rook b2 check, and black wins. So this is a double attack essentially on the knight. Very nice. The channel actually has a mod, but it might be that he's busy with other things. The thing is that this wasn't a planned thing to do, this kind of a long broadcast. Let's switch to... I want to understand why Caruana Anand is a draw. Why is this a draw? Let's just put this into context. So Anand here, he won this. King b7. No, now they changed it. Black wins. Yeah, this makes lots of more sense. I really had no idea why this should be a draw, because the black pawns are just pushing home. It's just great. If you get your own Twitch channel, yeah, I have a Twitch channel, but I don't do this a lot on my own. Do you have the current standings? No, unfortunately not. How do you choose the main lines of your opening repertoire? Do you go for the objectively strongest line or the most pleasant to play for you? The second one. You should always play the lines that suit your style best. This is the most important thing in selecting openings anyway. It doesn't make much sense to play what others play, what others think is good. You have to find things that suit your style. This is the most important thing. In some cases it might be the main line, in some cases it might be a sideline. It's very often the case that the super sidelines, yeah, like stuff that nobody plays, like, I don't know, 1G4 or really weird stuff, that's really not recommended. But if you select from the main openings and go for respected lines, that is a good way to go. It would be really nice to bend some people. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do so. I maybe should get this, should get the rights here, the admin rights, and kick those people. The group is awesome. Yeah, it's always difficult, yeah, to pick an opening. I mean, maybe you can play G4 once in a while in an offhand game, but it's not a good idea for a constant repertoire. It will be difficult to maintain. So I think there's just one more round coming, if I'm not wrong. I would like to know the standings as well, to be perfectly honest. Let me try to find out what the standings is. Do you consider the French a main opening? Of course. Yeah, French is perfectly okay. I would really like to know the standings. Yeah, Nakamura is leading. Giri is following close. So this does mean in the final round, if Nakamura is drawing, he can be overtaken. So he better wins, right? Okay. Let's see. I don't know what the Bonk Cloud is really, the Bonk Cloud opening. What is the best opening in chess and why is it the Danish Gambit? That's a funny question. Oh, let's watch the games. So we have Anand Caruana. No, we don't have that. I want to watch Nakamura because he's the one that is able to win the tournament. There's a question. Was King's Crusher's video series an inspiration to start your own? No. I was asked by a friend of mine, actually a workmate, to record like 5 or 10 of those videos in German language actually. And I noticed that people were watching those, and then I started to make more. Funny opening. Kramnik Nakamura is some weird Dutch opening. Kramnik playing e3. And I really wonder, why is he playing that when he needs to win? I'm sorry, I got it all wrong. He needs to win actually, because he has to reckon with the idea that Giri might win. So let's see. Knight c6. Black is using a tactic to get the e5 back. Yeah, the French is a little bit out of fashion on the super top level. The reason for that is that the French is yeah, it's tough to explain in in one word or in one sentence. The same question was asked to Peter Swidler a while ago. And Swidler basically said that the French is perfectly okay. It's just an opening that is not so easily employed without specializing in it. So if you intend to play the French, it's a good idea to play more than one line in the French, like varying a little bit. Play maybe the classical, play the Wiener a little bit, and so on, and specialize in those lines. If you specialize and know the French really well, it can be an excellent weapon. There seem to be many new German GMs. Will we ever see a German world champion? Yeah, if you would have told me 10 years ago we will have a Norwegian world champion, you know, it's possible. Maybe not super likely, but possible. A funny game, Queen f6, but isn't knight c3 good for white, intending knight d5 here in this game? I really don't know. Knight a5 or what? Is this good? Oh, it's Nakamura playing a little bit too fancy here. Knight d5 is a problem, as the queen hangs with check, and also the knight is hanging. Maybe just knight e7, but knight e7, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Knight e7, but is this so bad for black? Someone is asking about the Allgeier. Now I understand. If the queen here, I just go back quickly. I know I understand. If he goes knight e7, there's f4 trapping the bishop. f4, the bishop is trapped. So Nakamura is a piece down. I'm sorry, it was a little bit. I was a little bit slow there. Yeah, and he has taken even a4. Kramnik did. Yeah, bishop b2, queen b2, the queen hangs on g7, and rook a4, there's queen takes, or bishop takes e6, it's both winning. White should win now, but Nakamura is really, really tricky. He only really is, I mean, you need to kill him like 3 times in a game. The King's Gambit Allgeier is just a piece down. It's really just a piece down, he cannot play it. My rating is FIDE 2000. What should I eat to get to 2400? I won't eat currywurst. Yeah, it's a good idea. Currywurst is not good for you. Eat something healthy, it will help. Okay, black is just a piece up. So Nakamura is losing. And now we will actually switch. Because let's have a look at Giri's game. Giri can overtake Nakamura with a win. Let's see. Giri here with black. We've got equal material, but it's a very solid position. Adams is actually a little bit better here, I think, with white. Or is c4 strong? Okay, maybe white is not better now that I think of it. Rook d4, interesting move. Black is better on the d file. Rook d4, rook cd8. It's quite nice. And not so easy for white to figure out how to improve. If you take on d4, cd4 gives the c-pawn, yeah, a little bit of a weak look. Yeah, d4 is attacked now. Bishop b7, interesting. Yeah, black is trying to get rid of the bishop on e4 to make the counterplay against c2 more dangerous. But white can just take. Rook takes d2, there's rook d8, checkmate. Tja, tricky. Giri is also in trouble. He's just a pawn down here. What happens if they both lose? Then, well, Mickey and Kramnik, they can actually catch them. Funny. Caruana has a really terrible score. I just see that. Wow. Yeah, he's not a fantastic blitz player, really. At least, I mean, compared to his other abilities, of course. I played Caruana a couple of times in Internet Blitz, and he totally destroyed me. I mean, it's to be expected, but like really completely wiped out. So, okay, Adams looks like he's winning here, and let's see, is Kramnik winning really against Nakamura? It is continuing, and Kramnik has an end game, a piece up. Yeah, okay, come on. This is winning, yeah? Kramnik will win this. So let's look at Giri Adams again. I don't like to switch that much, but now we're talking about the tournament decider here. Yeah. Rook c1, still not threatened because of rook d8 mate. It does not help. Black is under serious pressure and in huge trouble. The thing that he maybe has to be aware of is that black might play h4. Pawn to h4, queen g3, and this is a perpetual. Okay, this is why h4 was played. A big problem is that black cannot activate his rook. He has to play, I don't know what actually. I don't know. Yeah, rook f8, yeah. And now a5, just push pawns. a5 keeps everything protected. Yeah, I guess one right. Yeah, rook d7 is also a move at some point, but now you can just push. If you go, yeah. Now the only thing to avoid is rook d7 or something. Yeah, b5 is quite nice. Someone is asking why is Carlsen not playing. I think he is probably yeah, sort of recouping after the World Championship match. Of course, Vichy is playing, but still I understand that you probably need a little bit of a break after such a match. So this is over. e6 wins. Yeah, white wins. Someone is saying Giri is white in this game. It's not confirmed by the official broadcast. I was checking this. And Kramnik Nakamura, yeah. Kramnik not too much, not much surprisingly won this. After king takes, here at the end there's knight b5, forking two rooks. And you win a whole rook, funny enough. Very nice. As an e4, e5 player, how do you deal with all the sharp, dubious gambits and so on? Yeah, you have to learn them, but it's not that much theory. In tournament chess, when you have some time on your hand, you can play against most of those somewhat dubious gambits with common sense. But it's a little bit tricky in blitz chess. It's good to know the lines. If you want a good overview of e4, e5 as black in the non-Ruy Lopez lines, you should get Bodo Gahn's Black Weapons, which I might have somewhere here. this book is the ultimate book on e4, e5 is black if white avoids Rui very nicely. Okay, so that was this tournament, I think. I think it was the final round, yes? Or is there one more? So what is the final result? This is funny. We have 3 guys with the same score, 17 points. It's a bit irritating. They have this 3-point system. So I don't know, 17 points. I don't know who wins this actually then. What? Has Anand allowed a mate with 2 pieces up? Not really, right? He's not 2 pieces up. Cool. He took here and then this is how it happened. That's neat. Very nice, mate. Cool. Yeah, okay. I was looking at the standing, 17 points for 3 guys. Adams, Nakamura and Kramnik. I'm not sure how they resolve that. It's also possible that the 3 players are simply basically it does not matter, you know, because there will be 3 players with an extra white, and probably it's Adams, Nakamura and Kramnik then. It's especially important for Kramnik. He's very strong with the white pieces. So some years ago, his question, some years ago people said Carlsen was not a good rapid blitz player and now he's won the world championship in blitz and rapid. What's your opinion about that? I think I actually always thought that he's the best in all time controls. I don't know if there's some person who thought that. How many screens do you have? I have 2 big screens. I'm sometimes looking on the right side because I have windows with the actual board that I'm recording. I have the recording software, and I have a transmission here running from the official site. What's the minimal healthy time control in which you can still improve your game? It's, I think, some sort of rapid time control. I really wonder why people spamming in this kind of chat. What is the point about it, really? Am I surprised that the Budapest has stood up under engine examination? Does it stand up? I think it's okay, this opening. It's nothing too great, but it's certainly playable. It's sometimes a bit passive for black, but it's not terribly bad or anything. So we had lots of blitz kibitzing, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, this was the final round as mentioned, and the original broadcast was scheduled to run from 10 to 11 my time. Now it is 11. Any book to study the French? There are a couple of interesting French books. Playing the French was an interesting book by Argard and Netirlis, the recent book from Quality Chess. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this stream now, as we have 11 o'clock. I hope you enjoyed it. There have been many spectators here, maybe some new to the stream. This was a little bit out of the ordinary. Normally I also play a little bit myself. But this time we had lots of stuff to kibitz. I haven't read all of my chess books, lots of them, but not all of them. Yeah, I hope you liked this. If you didn't catch all of it and you like to see the whole thing, then you can look at the archive on twitch.tv and also on my channel. I'm not quite sure when I put it up, but shortly. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next time, the same time, probably next Monday. Maybe I started a bit earlier this week, so a little bit early, a little bit later next Monday, 10 p.m. in the German time zone, Central Europe. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.